Hello web peoples, my name is Travis Nielsen. This is Dev Tips for Designers, and I got a joke for you. Why didn't the website get the girl? Because it had no style. So this is the last video in a series I call HTML5 Basics. If you haven't already, check out the other videos, nya, 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 and nya. As this is the final chapter in the HTML5 Basics series, we're going to put all that learning to use and mark up a document. As this is a basic series, we're going to mark up a very basic document. I got this idea from Jen Simmons' podcast called The Web Ahead in an interview with Jen Robbins. She suggested starting with a simple letter. I think that's a good idea. Okay, let's get started. Right here on my left I have a blank HTML page called index.html. I also have in this other tab a content.txt. It's a text file of a letter I wrote to my wife for fun. And here on the right hand of the set, and the right side of the page is a preview where our HTML will render as we write it. So what we want to do first off is we want to make sure that this is a I can't type and talk at the same time. This is a HTML5 page, and what we do how we do that is we make a doc type of HTML. Now my code editor is called Espresso. I don't care what you use, but I like this one. In my head there's, I want to put also in my HTML, I want to, is it EN? It's just EN. In my HTML tag I want to declare that it's English that I'm using, just so there's no confusion and so that Google can translate it for people who are not English. Inside the head, very simply, just today, I'm going to write a title, and I'm going to write a letter to my wifey. Now you'll notice here that this title automatically showed up as the title of the website, so it's the title of the tab, and you know, in your browser it's going to be there across the top. That's all I'm going to put in the head right now. There's a lot of different things that will go in the head, and next week and a few weeks after that I'll jump all into that. Next I'm going to do the body. Now these tags here are the essential tags of every HTML document. Every document is going to have a doc type, an HTML tag, and then two children, direct children of the HTML, of head and body. And in the head is a title tag. So in the body is where we kind of get our hands dirty and we talk about the different things. So I'm going to grab some of this content here. Site title. I didn't put anything for site title. Let's say letters to my bestest super friends and lovers. So this is the title of my website. I'm going to put that in an H1. And you notice here that there's automatically default styling connected to the H1 tag. It just got bold and large, and I can expect that to happen because it's an H1 tag. If this were an H2 tag, it would be slightly smaller and whatever else default styles the browser had for it. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, because this is a site and not just a web page, I have a navigation item here. And in my navigation item I have a few, oops, it's my daughter. I have a few links that are going to be in a navigation. I'm going to have a link to my wife, or a letter to my wife, a letter to my dentist, and a letter to my boss. I only wrote the one though. Okay, so my whole entire website is about letters that I write to my friends and lovers. And there's a navigation element right under the title of the under the title of the website. And in that navigation, I link to the different types of letters, and a letter to my wife, a letter to my dentist, and a letter to my boss. Super fantastic, fantastic, exciting. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so the letter of this article, I say that word on purpose. I'm going to throw all of this content inside of an article. And then this one is going to be an H2, and this is going to be the title of this letter. Notice here that when I am doing these line returns, I pushed enter to make a new line. After the A, right over here it did not wrap. And this is really important because remember when we talked about the default display types, the anchor tag, or the A, has a display type of inline. There's nothing pushing it on to the next line. If this was div or a paragraph or something that's default display block, the links would wrap right under each other, but they don't because it's inline and I expected that. So the article tells me I have some content in my article. Let's see. I'm just starting out with a paragraph. Let's see what we got for you. H3. Okay, and after that, here's the poem. And the poem is in a block quote. Markup is telling me that again. Block quote. Okay, so we see that the default style for block quote is that it is a block level element, so it wraps onto its new line, and the browser is putting some extra padding on the left and on the right here because it's indented, because it believes the block quote should be indented. So what I want to do is I want to format my poem a little better, and I just want some line breaks here, because I know that there should be line breaks in my poem. And there, because there was nothing physically forcing the copy onto the next line. I had to put a BR, which means break. It's a line break. It's like hitting enter in Word or something like that. All right, let's jump on down to the next bit of content. Oh, cool. This is a paragraph, but it's setting us up for a list. Now, it doesn't look like this list is, oops. Now, it doesn't look like this list is in any particular order, so I'm going to use a UL, which means unordered list. And then here's my list. A list item inside the list is an LI. Now, a UL and an LI is a block level element, meaning it will create a new line. You see how Turkey is going to wrap right here when I put it in a block. I have to close these tags. That's important. Okay, so we have an unordered list right after this paragraph, and I'm listing the things that her beauty is excess of, and she's more beautiful than tulips and turkey sandwiches. Turkey sandwiches. That's really beautiful. And the smell of, the smell of babies. It's not hard to beat the smell of babies, depending on If you have babies, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now this one, ooh, I didn't prepare an image. Golly. Oops. Okay. This is a, what is that? H4. Oh, I have internet, so let's find an image. I drew this drawing for you, 'cause I love to draw drawings. These are all too serious. Hey, that's more my style. I like this one. Yeah. This is the directory where I'm working in. So I'm saving the image straight into the directory, and now I'm going to pull in the image by using an img tag with a source attribute, and the source attribute is going to point relative to from my HTML document to my source image, and that's just going to, since it's in the same directory or the same folder, it's not going to need any path other than just its name. Dot, was it JPEG? Oh, there it is. Yep. Now, people who are really strict would tell you every time that you need an alt attribute for all of your images. That way you don't look like an idiot when they don't show up because somebody's blocking images on their browser. Why would they do that? I don't know. Or when the images load slow because somebody has slow browser bandwidth. Or when somebody is blind and that's your fault. You didn't write an alt tag. So I'm gonna write this. You just describe what that image is. It's a tiger of love. Okay, what else we got here? Image. Okay, I wrote this to represent a horizontal rule, which is a semantic break in. See that line? That's what I wanted. Are we all still in that block quote? What is up with me? Oh, look at this. I didn't close out that AUL tag, and that's why everything was so silly willy. What am I got here? What's going on here now? Okay. See, I told you I'd get something wrong and then we'd have to like go through it together. This is exciting. This crap happens all the time when you're doing code. You're just kind of like boop a doop a doop a doop a doop, and then it turns out that yeah, you didn't close a tag somewhere or something here. Oh, that's what I did. Look at that. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Web pages. Y'all ain't got nothing on me, heard? So where was I? Oh yes, this HR here represents a horizontal rule. It means horizontal rule. It represents this line that's going across. It gives us a nice logical break in the content, although there's not much of a break in the content here. What is this? Oh, I want to show you some inline styling. So we have a paragraph here, and then these little asterisks are again, that's markup codes. It means that we just want that bit of the paragraph to be bold. And in HTML language, we're going to use the keyword strong. We're going to use the tag strong because it has more semantic meaning than a B. In old school days, we used to use the letter B to mean bold, which made a lot of sense, but then we realized that, like, well, if you don't want it to be bold, what if it just means that it's more important than the words around it? So HTML5 said, fine, it's not bold, it's strong, which could be bold by default, but, you know, it's strong. That's what that means. So anyway, one more thing. This is an H4. have some really old music stuck in my head today. One more thing. Boop, boop. Paragraph. It's capitals. You know, we can do add caps lock. We can write a capital P. It's HTML5, so we can do whatever the heck we want. But we're not going to, because I'm not like that. I ain't about that life. So these two underscores here are, again, markup text to language. But I wanted, what that's trying to say is that this little bit of text here should be italicized. And one of the older ways we used to do that is we used to use an I tag, an I, which meant italic. But now we use an M tag, which means emphasis, because again, what are italics to blind people, or to screen readers, or to RSS readers? I guess that's still technically valid, but you know what I mean. It's not semantic. It's style in the markup, and that's not what we want. So we said, oh, this should be emphasized, not necessarily italics, but by default, the emphasis tag is italicized. So as you can see here, down here, it's italicized. So that is that. And let's jump over here. That's the end of the article. I'm not going to do anything, but if I wanted to have like a sidebar on my letter website, I would use an aside. And I would be like, yo, this is my sidebar, because I'm about that life. You know what I mean? And then we want to put a footer here and copyright it, because this is extremely sensitive content. And I would be torn up if somebody lifted this content. So I'm going to save myself the embarrassment and the heartache of somebody lifting my content. I'm going to throw a copyright on this mug, call it Dev Tips Copyright 2013. Okay, so let's look at the results here, right on the right. At the top we have a level H1, a level 1 header tag that bestest super friends and lovers, and that's the, I usually use an H1 tag to denote the title of the website, an H2 tag to denote the title of the page within the website, and then I use H3 tags as section headings in the content. That's kind of standard for me. A lot of people have different styles, but that's what I do. I've done it for a long time that way. Things are progressing around the logo and like how you kind of do that, and we can talk about that later, but I tend to use H1 tags for the logo or the heading or the name of the website. So we have a navigation here. So this is a letter to my wife. It's probably active as I'm scrolling through. There's a letter to my dentist, like, what the hell would you do? That was messed up and shot me in the face. It hurt, made me cry, and I had all these crazy dreams. And then a letter to my boss, who is actually quite dope, and I can't complain. A letter to my wife is the name of the page, and then we're going down. We have some paragraphs. I mean, here's a block quote with this beautiful poem that I wrote. Roses are red, violets are red, everything is red. So yeah, that's my beautiful poem. A list, an unordered list, some, you know, headings, and anyway, hey, this has been a lot of fun. We've just done some markup. This is how the internet is built, and how we just built it together. It's fantastic. I'm rambling. Congratulations, everybody. This is the end of the series, HTML5 Basics, and now you all are professional website developers. Go have fun. It's great. It's awesome. Okay, that brings us to the end of the video and the end of the entire HTML5 Basics series. I hope you guys learned a lot and enjoyed it, watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. For the next few videos, we're going to take a break from talking about HTML5. We're going to talk about internet basics, like what is a URL, what is a server, how do the documents work together to build a web page, and like what is a path name and things like that. That should be fun. So tune in to next dev time, next dev channel, and we'll be here dev tipping it up all day long. And as always, take a minute to share this video with your friends, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Subscribe to Dev Tips. Subscribe to Jane, his wife. Subscribe to his boy Elroy. He's a developer. He's designer's good at code. He bits. Subscribe.